as this mentions, there is a sequel coming out very soon. I missed what it said actually as far as the date, but we had one. There's like preview builds we'll have access to, I think. And let's see, how do I best show this one off? I could look a little bit for the game I have in progress. That's one option. Or but like basically at the heart of it, Space Engineers is a super ambitious clone of Minecraft. Yeah, there's got some little like tutorial scenarios and see what jogs your memory. When it first came out, my computer could not handle this game. It was like so many really fiddly physics interactions. Frankly, by now we were didn't chew, and it would just like cause my frame rate to drop to like 0.2, and then horrible fan noises would happen and all that. But over the years, in the decade it's been around, they have actually, and it's good to know if you ever like played the previous version, done a lot of optimizations to make it a bit more stable, and also just kind of been more upfront about like what has the toughest system loads. So like it'll, when you're building stuff, just give you numerical value of like how processor intensive it is. This will be a bit of a load. But basically, like Minecraft, we got a big old world made out of voxels. And you can place your own blocks in it. But aside from just like placing things just like attached to the world grid, you can also just make your own little independent grid of a bunch of things. And you can say take a bunch of like metal blocks, put them in a basic shape, add some like thrusters or wheels in a cockpit, customize some things a little bit, and then ta-da, here's an actual vehicle that you can do whatever you want with. And it's kind of shocking how ambitious they are with all of it. Like I've seen people playing this game make like 20 car long trains that actually like snake about properly while moving. All of which have like big hinges for like moving drills into position and like gun turrets and all this other stuff. It's as far as just like pure creative sandboxy games go, it's kind of untouchable. Although it is a bit slow paced and you got some chunky loads. So as you can see on this loading screen, there's like this big, huge, massive planet with its like snowy mountains and various other biomes, and then you can just like go up a lot and get into space. And then when you're in space, here's a bunch of asteroids. Here's a bunch of other planets that are all just like loaded in. You can just kind of like drift between them if you have time to kill, or get the little jump drivey system to just cover distances faster. But because it's like a Minecraft clone at heart, it has the big independent, just build your own Lego stuff vehicles. It has rules for handling air tightness and depressurization and all that. It has really, honestly, like super cool, just deformation stuff going on when things take damage. But it like has a Minecrafty sense of physics in places where, you know, if you go up into space and there's an asteroid, that asteroid is just like a fixed point at a particular location. It's not like doing orbital movement or anything like that. And the sun is part of the skybox, which is really weird because everything else feels very realistic. It's just like, wait a second, that's just spinning around. But I remember too when this first came out, it was like super impressive engine. Not really sure what to do with itself as a game, because you have, of course, your survival mode where you have to like you know mine up various resources and put them into machinery and process them and build your own stuff, which is all well and good. And then it had some like PvE sort of stuff to deal with. And okay, how's my frame rate doing here as this loads in? What they eventually settled on, I've done this scenario before, is mostly making a lot of these like sort of semi-scripted little scenarios on top of the sandbox mode. Yeah, I'm trying to remember if there was yes. There are chemicals. So like I could make something like this truck here, and just like personally adjust the tension on every wheel and all that. To handle better or worse. Or just like, you know, strap an engine on the side of it and start flying with it. It's really impressive that like just building all yourself out of Legos, it works as well as it does for a game as old as this is. But yeah, this isn't so much a tutorial, but it's one of the premium scenario things where we've got just, you know, this whole area to explore. And rooms to in what is again like a very essentially Minecraft sort of situation. Through these lockers here. Notes left behind here. But yeah, it's like developers just like make little like adventure game scenarios just in engine and release those now and then, which is what this is. And both within one of these or just if you are, you know, inclined to do so otherwise. You can just kind of like build what out of whatever and go nuts with it. This here does want to like build families at some point. Beds. Busted air vent, okay. Little decorative shower. Get little units here. Also, this is the whole building menu of just various sort of shapes that you can place. your standard, you know, like cubes and wedges and little corner pieces and whatnot. Your blocks for like setting up fully automated AI for things on your own. Playing sounds, sensors, antennas of various kinds for communication, which is especially a big deal in multiplayer. You have to like actually be within range and stuff like that. Control panels of various kinds, gyroscopes to keep things able to like turn easily. A lot of decorative stuff, mostly from DLC. Reactors and hallway segments, stairs. Big, huge, like, tube networks to sort things out for you. Stuff for building your own things, refining natural resources, etc. Which, that's something I can just show off briefly. If I just pick any random chunk of world I don't like the look of and bust out a drill. Remember the controls for doing so. Oh, I don't have a drill. Okay, that would be why. Yeah, I can just like take this block and stick it on the ground or stick it up in the air, which point it will drop. Also, I have no things to make this out of, right? And I can just mouse wheel through different shapes. Use like delete and end and stuff to rotate it in various ways. Do something to back out of this. Not tab. What is put stuff away? That's crouch. R, okay. Nope, no, R is for resize, right. This game has a number of hotkeys. They are a little tricky to remember if you haven't touched it in a bit. Controls. Block placement. Something. There's a lot. However, eventually. Okay. There we go. 0, that's what I was looking for. They have connectors like this, which will just like let you glue a vehicle onto a building or another vehicle and transfer stuff between them, which is handy. This one is empty. Also, would like get power back into things. Is there kind of just these two sheds here? That's also this. Okay. This is another one of those things like a little hard to show off what this deal is. Oh, we have a bathroom. Excellent. I guess I will just get back into my vehicle here and yeah, those various items in the sky can all just be gone too if I had something that could fly. Where did I park? I guess Speaker Scenario does not start me out with like basic tools, so I can't just start drilling into the ground and getting stuff. But let's see, I have a couple points of interest that I learned about there. Just let me set markers for them. Hopefully I can avoid rolling this car. If you're actually up in space, then like gravity just like gets less and less until the point where it's basically zero, and you can use magnetized boots to like walk on any surface and do confusing stuff, or just jet back around. Very rough terrain here. I find the soundtrack of this gets kind of annoying after a while, just being a bit too, like, grandiose. What do we have over here? Who's the parking brake button? Fine. Yeah, not wrong. Okay. Yeah. Further examples of stuff that you can build on your own if you're so inclined. Nice decorative corpses. That is pressurized, hence the air whooshing out when I opened it. Let's see what's in here. Random gold, sure. Yeah, resource management, this is a bit of a pain. So you have like the raw and refined stone of various kinds, and then hey, tools. I can, in theory, repair something if all it needs is raw gold. I kind of need to process this in some way. But yeah, there's a whole like get the raw materials, process them in a refinery, then put them into an assembly machine to like build the thing you want, but it all automates super nicely, so it can be just to the point where it's like, okay, here is like the rough sketch of the thing I want to build. Let me just like middle mouse click on it, and that will like save the recipe for everything involved in it, and then just do that again on my inventory anywhere for my stuff. And it will automatically queue up all of the production it needs, and then I can just like come back later and just again with a single mouse click like yank it all out of there, or at least as much as I can hold it once. Got a lot going on here. And then just start dumping it all in. I like people watching like that. Yeah, I'll just support everything. Why not? Actually have like a proper set of tools, so I can't just brute force everything and start cutting through the walls. But yeah, you want to like running your own tubing and lighting through all your stuff that you build, which is kind of neat. Switch over to my like actual in progress game of this, where I'm just building some of my own. What's this? just everything attached to this building. As far as like groups of subsystems and whatnot. Yeah, a lot of these sort of like pre-built scenarios are very like role-playing oriented. Scanners. So specifically, like a lot of this is like stuff that does have normal in-game function, but we're just kind of like using it as a Lego set to build out this base. I'm sure if I went around long enough, it would like shot up by automated turrets of some kind somewhere. So that unknown signal thing on map, those get automatically generated. They're just these little like space probes that come crashing down that randomly give you cosmetic stuff. Already got one. Oh, here we go. Random components of various kinds. I'm just going to take these in case I need them later. Inventory limits are very real in this, but you know. Here. Require you to take damage here on too much uranium. This is, I think, just lights. Out. When you build your own like actual like functioning base too, it does end up looking like this half the time. Just a big huge maze of corridors as you like try to sort stuff out in a sensible fashion. But the way inventories on things link up is really nice for just oh. Let's see. There's a survival kit of one. So heal up with that, get my oxygen back. Assuming there's enough of a supply in it. Nice, also good to have. So yeah, the impression I'm getting from this particular like scenario thing is just there's no way I'm gonna have to like repair some malfunctioning stuff for a quest, which there is support for. Like even when you're like making your own stuff. I'll probably need some of these raw resources for that. I also need to like actually find them. Spare oxygen bottles are always nice to have. Well, I guess not so much when you're on this like Earth-like planet. I'm eventually gonna totally run out of space here. But yeah, you kind of get the idea of like what's in the kit with this. As again, like functionally a Minecraft clone, just like that they went a bit overboard with. And when you really get into it, you're like, what is? How are my legs? Like stuck looking at something or something. Oh, not gonna look straight. Okay. Weird. I think I like rotated my camera slightly or something. Intending to. That's already up here. I could track down the unknown signal, but I don't like have stuff, so like what's the point? Anyway, yeah, let me actually... load up my actual in-progress game. I don't feel like actually solving a big groovy mystery on this colony here. You know, my actual save, I'm like in the space with the spaceship and all that I bashed together myself that mostly works. But you can see about the ambition, and like when it was new, it like did not have the optimization to like handle all of this at all for most people, but now it does. Wow. Wow. Let's see. Loading him. Slowly. Actually, hell, why don't I just like send the attract screen for a while? But yeah, it'll handle like, you know, a surprising number of big chunky spaceships like you're seeing kind of behind this menu there at once. Either in multiplayer hidden by other people or just like the standard in-game AI, or you can like again make and program your own little AI things, a bunch of like scripting language stuff, and do really elaborate things. Slightly frozen on this menu here. Or just taking way too long, because like it is still kind of a chunky game for me at least. This is something like weirdly satisfying, just like okay, yeah, you know, load my actual game. See what I was doing. I haven't really touched this in like, I don't know, a year. Half a year maybe. I know the last time I was going through the S's, I actually skipped it because like, oh, that, last I checked, it runs like garbage, and then later that was like, well, let me double check that it runs like garbage. And no, it's playable now, very playable. But also, there's a sequel out like super soon, which adds a lot of interesting things, like you know, proper like fluid physics for bodies of water, and like instead of having this awkward system where there's the big grid and the small grid for building on, there's like you want to place down like a 1 meter cube or like a 10 meter cube or a like 10 centimeter cube or anywhere in between. Just mix and match things of various scales. Which is nice for customization stuff. Does take a chunk of time to load up a world though, just because like there's a lot in a save file in this, and part of the process of like making the thing run was realizing they needed to add some modes to like, you know, maybe sweep up just like random debris after a while and delete it, and not just like track every individual piece of scrap metal that exists anywhere in the galaxy. Okay, yeah, so here's
energy
the
low.
last actual save. Let's see. was the button I wanted? There, now I'm doing it. Okay, so this is me building a big box to build a little drill ship properly in a hollowed out asteroid. I believe in one of the corners I just set up a little diagonal bit to also I have low energy, so let me fill that up. Yeah, my long-term plan is to make this like an actual like enclosed space. You can kind of see if you're in zero gravity, you'll just kind of like down relative to whatever surface your feet are touching. I swear at one point I had like a little thing in the corner just to like walk up to the wall like that. I may have forgot. This is a very, very like work in progress base. It should be an automatically operating little airlock there eventually. Here's part of my big old inventory. I think I have my old ship parked here. Yes, I do. There is the planet I started on, and the moon. Let me just get in this thing real quick. And see if I remember how I actually start this up. There we go. So let's see. Where's that? Spin the camera, but I can't remember. Oh well. Oh, here it is. Did I control this? Don't go auto saving. There is something I'm forgetting to hit. No, did I just like? I might not have my gyroscopes on. That would. Why are those off? Okay, that's why I couldn't turn. That's much better. So anyway, yeah, let me just see if I can find my base where I started. Also, vaguely curious if I can actually land this or not. I'm guessing no. But crashing is fun, so hey. Set a nice speed, get the dampeners off. I guess gravity will do most of the work here. See down there on the right of the hotbar, any sort of artificial gravity that it might have is currently at 0, and the planet's gravity is slowly crawling up as I get closer to it. Kind of a visible, like, here's where the atmosphere ends. It does take a bit to get down there. But yeah, the whole planet is just a big blob of voxels that are just, you know, stupidly huge. We also have various little rocks scattered about. I have a lot of these marked because they have various resources that I was mining. closer. Kind of start to see the details of the mountain range there. Just almost leaving the atmosphere even. There's no actual water in the first game. That's like the main thing the second one is adding. There's just ice. They'll often put it in like nice flat lakes and such, or oceans even, but like it's still all solid and annoying. There's a bunch of options too, like on a per planet basis even, for like having hostile aliens or like electrical storms to worry about, or other various little things like that. Or, you know, just like NPC pirates attacking you. I think actually pretty elaborate as far as that goes, with like ship designs and base designs and like coordination. And I realize now that I think about it, I could have just loaded a save when I was still on the planet, showing things off that way. But then you don't get to see like the, you know, scale of it getting closer here. So you do have some like markers. Oh no, sorry, behind me. Never mind. Maybe a drill tooltip up there. Okay, I'm like a third of the way down. Going at basically maximum speed, which is another change they made over the years to make this more manageable, is like, okay, so like 100 meters a second for a ship this size is like the cap, and it's like 150 if you're just like in your suit, so you can catch up to things. I think a slightly smaller scale or larger scale ship has different speed going on. You can also tell this is like, what was it? There's something I can hold down. Oh, okay, yeah, Alt to spin around. So you can kind of see this was not designed for appearances. This was just like slapped together for pure practicality's sake. So I just have like my cockpit here, a couple batteries off the side, my big old hydrogen tank with the jets just kind of like attached to this horrible tube to get some facing the other direction. And then in the middle there is like the basic survival module to like have a respawn point and place to process oxygen and stuff like that. Yeah, the battery, and I don't remember if this is at the bottom. If anything. This be part of the cockpit. Might be something on the reactor storage. I don't remember. There's the sun coming up. Nice little view of that. So again, big old Mason Lake, I believe. It's mountain range. You can already see before, but like now the light's hitting it nicely. Very few can actually land this thing, like I said, because this is the ship that I originally built just to get off the planet. I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't realize there was the whole maximum speed thing, which when you're like turning into orbit is good to know, because you can't just like, you know, slam on the gas, because like you'll just waste fuel as you approach that upper speed limit. You kind of like tap it. So yeah, I should probably start to stop. I might just have to bail out. I will have to bail out. Yeah, that's yeah.
Health low.
You know what I come away from? Yeah, that survived that pretty well. I think. A couple of chunks went flying off of it. What we got here? I just land. I just landed. Okay, which way is up? Upside down. That's what I wanted. Okay. Or I have my jetpack on still. So let's see. We got some ice that was in the container that broke. Okay. Take it all. It seems mostly intact. The cockpit's still there. I guess that is just the bottom of the cockpit right there. Got one of the batteries is still working. The other one is pretty dead. The main engine's kind of dead. You know, it's survivable. And I am just on this awful little hill in a rainstorm. I don't think I landed that far away from my original base. Probably fly higher than that and not skip off the ground. It's of course like the worst weather to be landing and looking around, but put my ground length back under me here. Oh, or I just go myself, that works too. Here. Let's get back to my body. Leave it for all my stuff. Hope this fog leaves. Doesn't actually show off what it looks like on a planet. This is kind of default generated. I guess this is what I get for trying to like fly in fog at ground level with my dampeners off. By a cliff at night. That's much better. I got that far away. Properly. Have plenty of hydrogen before we going. Where is that corpse? There it is. Take all this stuff back. Drop these garbage tools. Normal quality. Started with when I respawn. Don't need those. Now, without killing myself, hopefully, let me fly back towards my starting base here. I'll just keep the fuel loss. Oh, okay, yeah, that fog is something real. I thought there was still some.
Low.
This is gonna be bad. This is gonna be very bad.
Fuel critical.
Now I'm gonna die again. I thought there was ground here. Nope, not so much. Yeah. Okay. Like I hit like the side of this awful cliff here. Oh, I can at least like show off some of the terrain. What I can also do is I can just do a shredder in the first place, and oh no, because load the shredder. Anyway, this is a look at this. If I was more patient, I'd be less dead. I'm going to show off my little like starter base, but it's not much to look at anyway, if I'm honest. But yeah, like very ambitious game, very nice little sandbox. I guess the sequel is already out in early access, so that's something. And I will look at this little like attract mode for a while, which will just show off a few cool looking things in this. You can like Voltron vehicles together. You can like make things with like hinges and pistons and all kinds of like elaborate moving parts. I think some people try to make like walking robots that just, you know, have like bendable knees and stuff, which I'm sure works great. Doesn't involve like knees just exploding from the pressure. Yeah, it's a very relaxing game too. You can like lose a lot of time just building stuff. I do wish that the music was less like orchestral sweepy stuff non-stop though. You can always turn off and like play around stuff like stuff. Then the building's all in like stages where you just get like a little framework and then you have to like add stuff to it and it'll like fully pop in more and more detail. As you can see here. Yeah, it's a really neat game, honestly. It is one of those things you get to like refamiliarize yourself with it because the controls are a bit much as far as hotkeys for everything and like mappability for your own custom built stuff. But you do really cool stuff in it. And then they do, you know, their little custom scenarios, just like demo that. Yeah, Space Engineers, it's neat. And it runs these days, not like when it first launched. And there are people whose whole thing is like let's playing that one specifically.